Hey, good morning. Welcome to Saturdays with the Crafty Bunch. I'm Lisa with Lisa Boone Designs, and today we're going to be just having some fun. Um, I love just being able to have an hour to do whatever. So I love the Crafter's Choice events that we have in the Crafty Bunch, but I also love the themed ones. Um, so today we're going to be having a fun day, a full day. Ann Fetters was before me, and after me will be Jennifer Fellers. I'm not familiar with her, so I'm looking forward to seeing what she's going to do and getting to know her a little bit. I am live on my page and also my YouTube channel. So comment, let me know that you're watching. I am going to just make sure that I can see myself. And then I'm waiting for Nicole. There she is. She said, "Good morning, Adoria Creations." She is the host with the mostest, the hostess with the mostest. She does some really, really fun events. Several events every month inside of the Crafty Bunch. And so thank you for having this event and for allowing me to be a part of it. And of course, we're in the Crafty Bunch, which is Mama P's Creations. Thank to her as well. So today, here's what we're going to be doing. Let me get my camera ready and my logo. There we go. All right. I've had this for a long time. Thank you for sharing me, Nicole. I've had this for a very long time, and I've had this intention. And I went to my daughter's salon. They had renovated and redid it, and then they had this artwork on the wall. And I was like, that's exactly what I had wanted to do. I had not seen it, but there's nothing new under the sun, right? So I had bought a whole bunch, and I'm talking a whole bunch. I have a lot of these. I don't know that I want to ship them. I'm going to be hesitant to ship them because they have glass, but maybe we could figure something out if you're interested. I mean, I'm talking, I have tons and tons. I bought a whole bunch from this crafter creator locally in town. She did a whole bunch of stuff with this, and then she was done with it. She moved on to the next thing, like we all do, right? You know what I'm talking about, right? Say yes, I know. Hey, Estella. So I had a lot of ideas, and then my friend and I bought the rest together, and then she closed her business, and then I ended up with more. So I have a ton of them. Hey, good morning, Linda. Good morning, Cheryl. So these are just these frames. They're nicely done. They really are. There's so much that you can do with them. You can put a board, make them into a shadow box. You can use them with the glass. If you're interested in them, please let me know, because I can package them up. I'm not sure about the frame. So anyway, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to do two different versions. Originally, what I wanted to do was, let me see. What I had wanted to do just simply is to take the glass, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be a little bit awkward with this glass. This cut is still very fresh and new, and I'm still hurting on the inside. And when I was handling the glass, I was like, please don't break. Please don't break. So anyway, I'm going to paint this frame. Now here's some options. You can paint it. You can add some molds to make it more decorative. I'm going to keep these like this. You can also paint them gold. That's the frames that Julie has at the salon. They are florals, like like molds, and then they're black and then gold, and they look phenomenal. And then she's got like little sprigs of flowers. So I have the old IOD, and I have a couple of options. So I'm thinking because I'm gonna do a whole bunch of these to sell, especially now that we're getting into the spring. And so I was thinking I'm going to pull some of these out, and I'm going to put some on. I also have this one. I don't have much of these. These are the old ones, but this one is Verdao, I think. Yeah. And so I thought, oh, a little pop of color. Like, I like this one. These are longer, so I would have to cut them. Excuse me, and finagle it. The other option is that we could actually decoupage a piece of sheet music. It almost fits, but this is what I'm thinking. if we do this, we're going to reverse decoupage. I have to be careful. The paper is brittle. It's not going to fit the entire glass, okay? So I think it's kind of nice just to center it. Hey, Callie. And decoupage on the back, and then put the botanicals or the florals in the front. I've done that before, and I really love the way that that looks. You could just decoupage and place the botanical on the paper directly and put it on the back. You guys chime in. What do you guys think? I have another one that's a little bit smaller, and it's got the broken edges on the side, which I really, really like. Hey, Patsy. Good morning. Good morning to Daryl, too. Diane. Uh, Good Saturday, Lisa and friends. It's going to be a great day in the Crafty Bunch. I agree. Watching from Arizona. All right. It's a little earlier there, isn't it? All right. So I have DIY paint. Here's the thing. I'm going to use the original formula and I'm going to use crinoline. I'm going to make these lighter because I'm going to make a whole bunch of these. So I want to have different colors. I'm using a Klingon brush. Y'all, I have not pulled out my DIY paint and my Klingon and my IOD in so long. Hey, good morning, Jen. How are you? And my paint is thick, which is a good sign because it's going to cover really well. So we're going to go ahead and cover this. I did wet my brush. I like wetting my brush before I paint. It helps the paint to slide on, glide on, however you want to say this. Trying to make sure that you can see. DIY paint covers phenomenally. And listen, you could probably get away with one coat with DIY paint. A lot of times when I was painting furniture, I always did 2 coats. But if I was doing a craft, sometimes I would just do, or home decor, just depending. But here's what I'm going to do. I am going to paint this on. I did not prep this. I did not sand it. DIY paint goes on to anything and everything. You can pick some up on my website, lisaboondesigns.com. You can just hit shop with an exclamation mark, and it will take you right to it right here in this comment, in this thread. I like to mix it up. So this is what I'm doing. I'm painting it the crinoline color. Then I'm going to use the one step paint to seal it and paint it. This is just my base coat. That's what I'm saying. This is my base coat. You don't want to overbrush with DIY paint because it will pull the paint. So this is a little bit of a slicky surface. It's not, I don't know what it is. I mean, it's wood, but I don't know what the finish is on top. All of these frames come like this, okay? So if you're interested in them, again, let me know. I'm trying to make sure I don't get any paint on me. I agree with wetting your brush. Yes, Linda. Wetting your brush really, here, let me do this. Because the Klingon brushes are amazing. They're my favorite. I love them so much. And this one, in case you're interested, is the R12. And I'm using like a dot of paint. Good morning, Missy. I'm just using a dot of paint. And you could just use this and seal it. But I'm going to do the second coat with the other paint because it acts as a sealer. It just has a sealer in it. So I'm going to see. This is where I always would get paint all over myself. So I think what I'm going to do is do this top part and then dry it. DIY paint does dry very, very fast. Now, you could have left this. I mean, it looks good. But like I said, I want to have different options. So I'm going to make a whole bunch and have them at the store. So this is, let me see. Here we go. So that's how big it is. I'm gonna angle this down now. I'm gonna get I might be able to. Hey, not bad. Here we go. I'm gonna angle this down. Let's see if I can't. There we go. Get her done. So the more, when you have water on your brush, it does eliminate some brush strokes. Of course, this is just a scratch coat. Whenever you use DIY paint, it's a scratch coat, your first coat. I have my gun here, and I'm going to be careful because I don't know what this finish is. You know, I don't want it to mess up, melt a little bit if it's not entirely 100% wood. And it dries super fast. DIY paint dries so fast and it dries lighter than what you see. And then when you seal it, you can seal it with wax. I love the DIY wax. It's my favorite wax. Then you can build up, you know, the layers. You can make it grungy. You could white wax it to make it softer. Like, there's so many things that you can do to give it some character, because it doesn't have any character. Everything is flat, as you can see. But again, think about adding some mold. You can add some corner molds or just like the trims, like all around, to add some dimension and make it really fun. And then that's when you can really play with the waxes and play with the different design elements. There's so much that you can do. But for a simple project, this is also super fun. Let me know what you guys think about this frame. If it was yours, what would you do? Would you add some molds? Would you add some dimension, some texture? You know, you can add some texture. But I think I like this because it's so simple, but it will add some nice interest into your, you know, maybe it's your bathroom or your hallway, your entryway. So be careful with your edges, because DIY paint, you could always sand it a little bit, but when you're doing it around your corners, it can build up, and if you want a flat surface, you want to make sure that you go around your edges, like I did not, because it builds up. Ooh, yeah, there we go. It's a lot right there. Uh-oh, I have a thread. There we go. All right. So I'm going to show you everything here in a second. Hold on. I'm going to clean this up because there's too much. So I started heating it, and when I painted over it, that's a great way to get some texture if you're after that, because it will pull the paint and make it look old. That's a great technique. It's a great way to do that. You want to be careful if you don't want that. Of course, you could always sand it down a little bit and start over. It's just paint, and you saw how very little I used. Such a small amount. It's a beautiful Saturday here. Let me know. We know someone's watching from Arizona. Where are you guys watching from, everyone else? And what are you guys planning to do today? It's still early. You're going to be inside the Crafty Bunch, getting inspired all day. I hope so. But you could always go back and watch the replay. So make sure that you're watching from the Crafty Bunch, because it's a simple refresh. Simple refresh. Okay. So again, I use the color crinoline. I'm going to hit this though. It's not completely dry. Just takes a couple of minutes though. Hey Lisa, how are you doing? So we're making some frames, and we are adding IOD transfers, which is out of the box, but you can do it. A lot of us do it. I've done it on furniture. I've done it on like glass, you know, tables. There's a lot of different applications. But here's the thing: when you do it on glass, you have to be careful, because I'm going to put this here, because once you get it down, there's no wiggle room. You're cleaning out your ribbon cabinet. Ooh, ooh. Last night I came in here, or yesterday, and I cleaned up my space. I feel so much better, and I cleaned up the floor a little bit behind me, and that's my goal for today. I want to get a little bit more done in here, cleaning up and organizing, because I have a lot more stuff, and so I've got to try to figure out how it's gonna. It's like so stressful, you know. It's like Tetris, Jenga, live DIY paints, and creates and share. Is that what it says? Yeah, live. Yeah, DIY paints. Okay. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I don't have to worry about my Klingon brush with the original formula DIY paint. I can take this off 5 days from now. Like, because there's no sealer in it, there's no primer in there. It's just paint. It's all natural. I don't have to worry. But with this paint, this is what I'm going to use next. Here, I'll do it this way. I'll do it both. So it's the DIY one-step formula. It has a primer and it has a sealer. Here's the thing, you're going to have to stir this one. The other one you don't have to stir. This will give you that factory finish. I stirred it because I hadn't used it in a while. I had a lot of the top coat on top. So you really want to stir it because the thicker parts are in the bottom and you want it to be evenly distributed. So you don't want to shake it, but you do want to stir it. Oh, love DIY paints. Gotcha, Anne. I know, me too. It's my favorite. I am a DIY paint retailer, but I am selling everything out. I'm not going to be doing it anymore. And it's very, very sad. It really is. I'm going to use this one. And it's just because it wasn't, I should have wetted a little bit. It hasn't been selling, and IOD, all the things. People are just not coming in as much. And I do so much. And I had to just make a decision. So I'm not going to be a retailer anymore, but I still have a lot of inventory because I always had a lot of inventory. I wanted people to be able to come into the store or shop online and it be there. So I need to double check all of my inventory online because sometimes they sell it in the store and they forget to tell me. So if that happens, if you place a big order, I just refund what I don't have, and I apologize for that. But I have to go in there and really do a better job of inventorying it. I did inventory IOD, but that doesn't mean that it's correct either. Like, that's the frustrating part of being in a store that's not your own. But there are also so many great perks as well. So see how similar the colors are? This brush, though, has a lot of texture because I don't know what I did with it. But here's the thing. This paint self-levels. So I'm just going to get the inside. Try not to get the wood on the inside, but it self-levels. And I've painted some amazing pieces of furniture with it that has, come out so beautifully. But my favorite, my heart is always with the original formula of DIY paint. I love how it blends. I love how it looks and how it goes through all the different phases, all the different colors that when it's wet, when it's dry, when you wax it, when you seal it with, the other stuff, DIY paint. I'll tell you, I'm going to put this in water. So that brush I put right in water. I also sell Sweet Pickins milk paint, and Final Finish has a little bit of acrylic in it, and it works so good. This paint, the DIY one cottage color, the one-step paint, you don't have to seal, but you can if you want it to be even more durable. Any paint that has a sealer, though, you want to move that air. You want to move your heat gun because it could cause some texture that you don't like. It'll cause some bubbles. And same thing with top coat. If you're drying top coat and speeding it up, which I do often, you just want to be careful. You just want to do it quickly. And higher up, too. So it takes a little bit longer to seal it, but then you can move on to the next thing. The one thing that I do like about the DIY paint cottage color is that once I paint it and dry it, and it's dried really well, I can actually apply IOD transfers right on top of it, where the original formula, I always have to seal it first because of the chalky residue. If you want it to endure, be, a great application, you're going to seal it before you add your IOD. That's not the case with the glass, though. With the glass, it goes on hot. Like, it goes on hot. I have an old window in my living room, and I think it's called Botanical Garden. It's an old IOD. It has a peacock on there, and I love peacocks. We use peacocks as a theme to our wedding, so when I saw it, I was like, I have to have it. And it adds a lot of color into my room because I don't have that much, I don't have that many colors in there. And it's just a nice little statement piece, a centerpiece right on the wall. I need a little brush. Because of my corners. All right, I think I'll put that in the water. Okay. We may have to touch that up again. But it dries pretty fast, and then you can just keep going. I just need this to dry so that we can move over to the glass. And I was going to do all three at the same time, but I don't have that much space. Even though I cleaned up, I don't have that much space. So today's Saturday the 14th. Next week, or the 24th, I'm hosting a Let It Flow live, and it's going to be all about watercolor. That's going to be a fun event. And then in between that, I think it's next week, Monday and Tuesday. I think I'm on Monday. The Beauty for Ashes. I kind of sneak peeked the papers. They're printables. I don't typically use printables, although I love creating printables. Like, I love designing printables, but I I hardly ever. I'm trying to see how I can flip this. I think it's wet on multiple sides. Okay. I'm going to do this like this. Okay, there we go. But the papers are absolutely gorgeous. Hey, Barb. How are you, girlfriend? We're making some frames I'm putting together, and I'm going to be selling these and a whole bunch more different colors. We're going to be putting some botanicals on the glass. I think it's going to be super fun. So, yeah, so we're going to be doing Beauty for Ashes next week, and then the following week I'm doing the Let It Flow watercolor live event. And then I'm not sure what I'm doing in April. Of course, April 1st, the first Sunday in April, we're not going to do Christ and Crafting this month because April 5th is actually Easter, and a lot of people couldn't do the live. So I apologize for that because I know a lot of people look forward to it. We actually look forward to it. We have a lot of fun putting that together for you guys. All right. Of course, I have to make sure I don't get any paint on my shirt because I want to wear this shirt later. We had puppies, and they are going to be 7 weeks. No, they're going to be 8 weeks on Wednesday. And they're so little. This is a small litter for us. They're only 5, but they're actually small in size. And I have to meet someone later today. I'm going to get a wipe. And we're going to give her the first puppy's going to leave the house. I'm a little bit sad. Like, I'm a lot sad. I always get so, hey, Rainy Day Vintage, Renee. Hello, how are you? I'm pulling out my DIY paint and my IOD, which I have not done in a very, very long time. Like, I'm talking a long time. I think I used the DIY paint to dye some fabric last year for the quilt project. I just spilled coffee all over myself, and then it sizzled on there. I have this new coffee warmer, and guys, I felt so bad. They asked me to do a review. They sent it to me. Where's my apron? I don't use an apron. I do have a couple right here, but I don't typically use an apron. Even when I painted furniture, I didn't typically get paint on myself. Every now and then I may have. It's more so on my hands. I'm waiting for this to dry just a little bit more. Okay, So let me just show you where we're at. There's some wet spots. So see, there's some wet spots. You can see it glistening a little bit. But do you see how, let me see, it dries smooth and flat? It dries smooth and flat, especially because I did wet my brush when I put on the first coat. The first coat we used was DIY Paint's clay-based formula. That can add some chunkiness to your project. If you don't want that, just be careful. There's some chunkiness right there. You can always sand that down though. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry. Let's look at the glass. I don't use an apron. It wouldn't save me. The way she paints with all the colors and all the things, she's a wonderful artist, by the way. If you need someone to follow my friend, Rainy Day Vintage. Actually, everyone that has a business name here, follow them. So let me see. Then again, follow her. She's a wonderful creator, wonderful artist. Make sure you follow her. I'm trying to look at who else. Oh, yep. Design Your Day with Patsy Ray. I'm newer to her. She was a part of my event. What did we do? Which event did we do? I can't even think. Oh, it was the Scrap Happy last week, and had so much fun with that event. We learned a lot from all of the different creators. Of course, Adoria Creations. Make sure you're following her. She is the host of today's event. She does all kinds of wonderful things. I'm just trying to get some of this paint and see how easy it cleans up. Although I could do a little bit better. Okay, so this is the glass, and again, I'm a little bit cautious about glass right now. Lots of super talented people. Absolutely. So I'm going to do one with sheet music, and I found this one. Okay. So I will reverse decoupage, and I'm going to like kind of try to put it towards the middle, and I'm going to have to be like super fast and quick. So that's what we're going to do. And then I'm going to take, I wanted to pre-cut this, and then I decided no, because I wanted you to see the whole process. Now this particular one, they don't make them like this anymore that comes in a roll, and I'm so glad they don't. And it's because when you cut it, like this particular one is meant to be cut out this way, but we all would do even the big ones that have a big design, and then you're left with it open. I'm gonna show you. Hold on. I like cutting it up and making it my own, but if I wanted to save this, it's open, and they would get messed up. So now the new ones come in a pad, and the acetate really, or I guess it's acetate, really sticks to that backing until you take it off. So it helps you to save your scraps, and I love saving scraps, and I actually love using IOD transfers on paper. I've done that before with my scraps, and it comes out so good. All right, let's see what else we have that we might want to use. I wanted to use one of these big ones. Let's see. This is a really large one, and it'll fit on the glass. I could always cut, like if I wanted to cut this off, and make it smaller. So here's what I always have done. Let me do it now. Oh, I took my painter's tape. I always use painter's tape for some reason. I'll use washi tape today. I use my washi tape. I like to put some tape on the edges. So I'm going to show you. So see how I don't want this to come apart, because when it comes apart, if something gets in, I have lots of scraps. Oh, I bet you do. I bet you do. Are you doing a retreat this year, Renee? Maybe one day I can come. We're planning vacations. We decided we were going to go to the Keys, and then last night my husband's like, I think I want to go back to Branson. And that's when I was trying to get to you last year when we went to Branson. Because you're not, I mean, well, it's a hop, skip, and a jump, but it wasn't too bad. So I'm just sealing this up because I want to use every single last scrap of this. Gloves save my hands when staining, but I end up with it above my... Because you got to get all in it, right? You got to get all in it. Okay. So I'm just going to come this way. I really like these ferns. And I think a lot of people do, so I think it's going to look good. I'm not going to... There's some text there, and I like text, but I'll probably use that for something else. You could use it on the glass. Okay. The grids help you to line things up when it matters. Or something like this. You can place it however you want. All right, see how this is opening right here? This is what I don't want. I'm going to put this here. So I don't want anything getting in between there because I'm going to show you. I got some scraps from somebody and they got ruined, but I'm going to try to salvage some of them. This is not my brand. It's not IOD. But she didn't worry about the backing. This is just, they're stuck to each other. And a lot of the transfers came off. See? It came off onto this one. I'm going to try to salvage what I can. I was looking at them last night to see if I can use them because they were smaller. And I thought, oh, I'd rather use that than the IOD, even though I love the IOD product better. That wasn't going to work. So I think I'm going to put a lot of those on to paper and maybe make some envelopes, use them for my journals. You're doing an online 6-week retreat starting next Friday. Creating sanctuary in the in-between. Wait, creating sanctuary in the in-between. That sounds interesting. That sounds really interesting. All right, so I'm just going to seal this up. And then, of course, we need one more. I didn't even think about it. You could also layer these. So, like, if you have a couple of little ones, you can create your own collage. You know what? I like this one. Yes. So I always thought it would be really nice to have these in a series of 3s. The funny thing is, when I went to my friend's salon, that's exactly how she had them. And I'm like, okay, I'm on the right track. Because she is like a wonderful creative person. Musician, very good with decor. The salon is beautiful. And that is, she placed that next to where the bowls are, and it's really dark and like just beautiful, minimal artwork. And then she's got these botanicals on there, and I thought, I'm on the right track. Okay, so do you guys want to see how easy it is to put it on the glass? Let me see. I wonder if I should put the biggest one. Let's talk about this. Let's talk it through. Okay, so I have 3 glasses. Put this over here. I cleaned them, but there's a little bit of residue here, so I'm going to have to work on that a little bit. They were really, really dirty because they were in storage. I probably should have got glass cleaner. Okay, wait. I'm going to put this on my laptop. Have you ever put transfers onto glass? Let me know in the comments. All right, so I'm going to move this. This one would be in the center, to be honest. I'm going to move these out a little bit. Okay, so can you see all 3? I don't think you can. I don't know. You know what I was thinking about doing was, I think you maybe could see it better if I put this paper. This paper was separating all of the frames, and I was laughing because it reminded me of the dot matrix printer days, right? Okay. So you can kind of see. So I think it's pretty to have all three done at the same time. Oh, and that just fits. And then this one, and then, so should we add the sheet music or not? I put them on glass coffee tables, yep, and they turned out amazing. And I put bird on a buffet mirror. Yeah, I love using it on mirrors and windows. I have and glass tables. I've done that too. Here's the thing, you do not want to clean this. So if you put the transfer on top, so if you're thinking about doing this for yourself, if you put the transfer on top, then you're just lightly dusting it. You're not spritzing it with anything because the transfer will damage. I don't usually seal the glass on top. So I just put it on and forget about it, right? If I put it on the paper, then I can clean the glass. If I put it behind on the paper, that's not a problem. But don't, I just want to stress, do not put any cleaner on the top of this transfer. It is very, very fragile. And here's the other thing. If you're using it on furniture or you're going to seal it on top, please use a good sealer, not something that from the store, not a big box store, because it has a lot of chemicals in it. Like DIY Paint's top coat does not have any chemicals in it. It's not going to deteriorate or mess up, harm in any way the transfer. It's meant to all work together. I already created these knowing that stockists have high quality paints and top coats. So be careful. All right. I want to hear from you guys. Should we use the sheet music behind it or just have these three like that and let it go? I'm probably going to create different series. So honestly, even if we do it and we don't like it, maybe I can move it off to another one. What I'm going to do first is let's go ahead and start with no paper behind it. I'm going to move this. Again, if you're just joining me, I'm kind of awkward with the glass because I'm like, I don't want to get cut. It's still too new. It's like when you have a baby. Like that's how I felt when I had my first baby. I did not want to talk about having another baby. It was so traumatic. I was in so much pain. I was like, no baby talk. I can't even imagine going through this again. And then you forget, but I'm not going to forget about my thumb. That's for sure. Okay. I think I'm going to wipe this down just one more time. And then I have to wait for it to dry. But I wish I had a microfiber cloth. I usually do, but I don't see one. All right, I'm going to you don't want any dust or any kind of residue or any dirt when you're applying the transfer. It's the same with furniture, but with glass, we're putting it right on the glass. I need this to dry for a second, so I'm just going to hit this. I like the sheet music. Okay, especially the hymns. I'm always going to have the hymns, right? All right. Let's do one just plain glass. And then we'll do the second one. It's 10:37. I can get it started at least. Do I have a stick? Yeah. Oh, here's the stick. So all of the transfers, even the pads, they come with a little burnishing stick. So I'm going to hold this carefully on the sides. I'm going to eyeball the center. And once you get it down, like it's usually not moving. When I did the window, it was so hard because it had panes. So I had to cut it and try to get it and line it up so it could make the one big design. That was nerve-wracking. And I did it outside with the wind. I was like, what was I thinking? But I did a cool technique on the backside of the window to make it look like if it was a mirror. And so I had it all outside. All right, so let's see. think it might be a little bit damp because usually it doesn't lift up at all. Let's see if we can get it. Okay. It usually sticks immediately to the glass, which is nice. It does the same thing with paper for me. I love using the IOD transfers on paper. Renee, have you ever used the scraps on paper? If it doesn't stick, I like to do this two-handed method. A lot of times people will just go like this all over and then peel it up. I just don't like to do it that way. I like to pick it up. It goes faster for me. And then I can ensure that I'm not hurting my wrist and I'm not pushing down too hard. Because if you're pushing down too hard, you're doing it wrong. You don't have to push down that hard. But I think this is going to make really, really lovely home decor. And, you know, when you go into Hobby Lobby and you see all of the things that they're doing, and thinking about it being winter and so cold, you know, at least that's my story here. It's kind of nice thinking about spring and some botanicals and or some sprigs, some flowers. Like, who is with me? Like, oh my gosh. Like, I can't wait to see the flowers in real life. I do have some daffodils that just popped up, and the Bradford pear trees have bloomed. So, I mean, I'm seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Are you guys with me? What are you thinking? And then, of course, the tulips and stuff are in the stores. I saw them at the grocery store yesterday, and I was like, oh, I just love them. Okay. Oops. It broke a little bit because it moved. Okay, there we go. It's good. Especially with my wrist, I have to be careful because I've been overusing it, and yesterday it was all inflamed right here. I was in a lot of pain. It's really tender still, and so I definitely don't want to hurt myself. That's another reason why I like that I can pull this up. I probably should do this with my left hand though. Okay, so and here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and rub. Just make sure that it's applied all the way. There's nothing that's lifting because we don't want this to come up. And I'm definitely gonna have to clean the back side. So let's see what it looks like together. So this is what it looks like on the back side. So I have the corner pieces that just shove in, but I'm also gonna use some E6000 just to keep it straight. So, I mean, imagine, like, right? Hanging on your wall. How pretty. Just simple, but very, very effective. And then, you know, if you have, if you wanted to make it darker, I really wanted black, but I couldn't find my black cottage color paint. So I thought, you know, the first set I'll do generic, and then I'm going to get some black going. But I love the way that this turned out, and I don't have to seal this. I think I'm going to touch up just a little bit in a couple of places. But see how fast it dried? Okay, so that's plain. It's 10:42. We'll get started on our reverse decoupage. I want to be careful. I don't want this. It's hard to see the glass here, even in my space. Okay. So we're going to put this big one. I'm going to put this here. Cover that up. Okay. So this big one, and again, you can, you know, put it however you like. I'm even thinking, I wonder if I should cut out. That would be a lot, but we could cut that out and make it a little bit. I can use these scraps on something else, and then this way it's a long stem. I think I like that better. I love cutting up the IOD transfers. All right, so here's what we're going to do. I've got some DIY paint. I've got my DIY, not paint, DIY top coat, DIY big top. Listen at me. This used to roll off my tongue. It's been so long. When you're decoupaging onto glass, okay, you want to paint the entire glass. You want it all to look the same. I'm just using a foam brush, and I'm going to look at it from the sides, and then just, I like DIY paint because it's has cloudy, but then it dries clear. I'm going to eyeball this. Let's see. It's a little crooked. Let's see. It's brittle paper, so I want to be careful, but maybe I should have just left it alone. I think, nope. I need to move it up. Okay. I took too much up. One move up is okay, but two, probably too much. But the paper is thicker. I wouldn't have been able to do that if I was decoupaging, let's say, a napkin on the glass. Probably not. Probably not. Let me see if I've got, yeah. This would be better. So I can apply some good pressure. And if there's any kind of extra in one spot underneath, it will get that for me. And of course, I've got some that came over, so we're just going to clean that off. So that's easy, right? And then once it's dried, I will take a blade and cut off the excess. I really wish I need something because I don't want to mess up the top coat on the sides. I need to elevate this a little bit. I'm going to use my stamp, my favorite stamp, just to elevate it just a little bit. And then, so that's it. We would put this on top. Of course, I'm going to have to clean this a little bit better. I'm going to let this dry. I'm going to let this dry right here on the side. And I can see a little spot coming up. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is cut this. I'll show you how easy it is to cut IOD transfers. It's tight. It's tight. I like that I have this little scissors. These are the Tim Holtz scissors. I thought, who needs a pair of scissors like that? They're kind of pricey, but oh my gosh. The difference that they make. I love them. I have all three sizes. That's how much I love them. I bought one first just to see, is this really good? It really is. I like it. For me, I like it. I really should put my glasses on. That's why I had them on my head. There we go. I can see a lot better. It makes it easier. So, let me know what you guys are doing today. What do you get looking forward to? Again, the Crafty Bunch is happening all day today. With this Saturdays with the Crafty Bunch. See how pretty that is? And I can use that in a journal, which is I think what I'm going to do. So before I even go anywhere, do anything else, I don't want it to get messed up. I'm going to apply my little sticker on here, and I'm going to move it a little bit because those little fern branches, they're really fragile. They're really like little. So I'm going to make sure, there we go. Make sure that it is protected. Uh-oh, I moved it. Okay, let me do this again. Because it'll stick to anything. And that's what I don't want. I don't want it sticking to anything. I just want it to stick where I want it to stick, right? If it was your house and you were doing this, what color would you paint the frame? Give me some ideas of, I want to see what everyone's doing in their home decor. When I walked through Hobby Lobby the other day, I noticed that there was a lot of dark colors, like a lot of really like impressionistic type florals and dark backgrounds, which I really was excited to see. I thought, oh wow, that's beautiful. And then we just happened to get a painting at the store, and I was telling my friend, because it was his painting that he bought. I was like, that's exactly what you need to look for. That's what Hobby Lobby has. That's the trend right now. Get more of those. And of course, his that we sold at the store was an original, like an old vintage. So that much better, right? So definitely. So see, now these two, maybe I'll use them in the journal that I create with. Add one more. I'm not sure. I have the Beauty for Ashes, and then I've got the Friendship Traveling Journal. All right. I think I like this so much better for the paper. Let's see. Let's look. I had toyed with doing a journal today, but I've been doing so many journals, and I thought, yeah, I think I'm gonna do something different. See, I like that. I like it's more simple. It's more simple. I could even take this one off. You just want to be careful there. And then I could have another scrap. And that's what I love about making the most of the IOD transfers. Like, I think I might cut this one. It's going to be tight, but I'm going to cut this one. But plants aren't perfect. So if you make a mistake, like plants in nature are not perfect if you ever look. Sometimes the flowers are broken, just like us. God created them and He created us. It's just a wonderful thing. The imperfection, causes us to lean on Him and think about Him. All right. So that's what I'm going to do. Let me see. I was trying to see. I'm going to put this upside down. I don't want it to get messed up. Okay. I'm going to put this one. I have a few minutes, so why not? Let's do this one. I'm going to be careful where I place it. I really should have cleaned this better with glass cleaner, but I did not. I did not. I should have. All right, let me hit this with the heat really quickly. Okay. I'm going to put this, all the way. I'm not going to do it all the way to the bottom. I'm going to do it right here. And again, if you wanted to put overlapping and put multiple, you know, make it your own and have some fun creating your own botanical garden. Where's the stick? That's the problem. I think they're making them different now. Some people were painting them. Let me see. I know I have extra somewhere. There they are. Okay. So I always like to do just one big, you know, all over usually. And then start at the top. See, I'm pulling up and I'm laying it back down until the entire thing is transferred over. If you move it and it slides a little bit, you know, like if you're doing this on something different that doesn't stick, then it could skip. But here's the thing, if you're doing it on furniture, just get a little paintbrush or even a paint marker and you can piece it back together. You don't have to worry. It's a little bit moist, so it's not sticking that well. I don't recommend you do that. You make sure that it's nice and dry. But this one is doing a lot better. Going a lot faster. So if you had a gift for someone, you could pick up, you know, some frames wherever you pick up frames, and you could get some transfers, paint the frame, leave the frame alone, put some sheet music behind it, or just keep it really simple. And look at that. Isn't that pretty? Imagine this on your wall. I really think I would like for me, them painted black, the frames. So just gonna, this is still drying. I'm gonna have to press here because it's coming up. But I could also iron it very quickly and it will pick up that adhesion and it will lay flat because it's old paper. So I want to be gentle with it right now. Okay. So this is what this would look like. Isn't it so pretty? And again, inspiring. I'm ready for spring. Who's ready for spring? I'm ready for spring. Please make sure that you go ahead and follow everyone. Stay inside of the Crafty Bunch because there's going to be a lot of presenters. Jennifer Fellers is after me. Make sure that was dry. Try not to get that paint on me because that one will be hard to get off. DIY paint, you know, if you move fast, you can get it off, but it does dye your fabrics. I've done that before. I've showed it on here, and it's a fun way to make something your own as well. So again, my Klingon brush is what I use, the R12 with original DIY paint. I don't have to worry, but I'm going to go ahead and put it in my water. They self-clean. They're amazing. And then I used DIY paint top coat, big top. I like the sheet meat. Wait, okay. Okay, I thought I saw something else pop up. Okay, I don't know. But thank you guys for joining me. Stay in the Crafty Bunch. Refresh your screen, and the next presenter will be coming up. Just a little side note. I like to keep these scraps sometimes. I use them for watercolor or for mixing, or I will spritz some Distress Oxide and then put my paper on there. So sometimes I like to keep these scraps. Sometimes if I have too much though, you got to throw it away. That's where I'm at right now. I have so much that I'm trying to throw some stuff away. But this is a cool little project. If you're interested in these frames, let me know. They're super nice on its own. This is the original, and we painted it to just so you can see the difference in case you're just coming on. This is the original brown, and we painted it with DIY paint in crinoline, and then I used plaster over it, and I don't have to seal it or anything. So it makes it a really fun, easy project. If you use the crinoline, the DIY paint original formula, all you have to do is you can seal it with a top coat or wax. But this is a little bit slick, but it went right over it and it's going to stick. So I hope that you try something like this. If you do, please tag me in it and let me know. All right, friends, I am out of here. Jennifer is up next. So make sure you refresh in the Crafty Bunch. Make sure you follow all of the creators. Please follow my page. I would greatly appreciate it. And I'll see you guys next week for the beauty